Hello, everyone. So, when you're in your European history class or your world history, you're going to learn that Archduke Ferdinand was in Austria Hungary outside of a sandwich shop when some guy kind of looked out of the window and was like, oh, hey, this is perfect. And he walks out with his gun, points it in the window, and shoots him. This one event caused the entirety of World War One. And this same thing almost happened in eastern China to Emperor Chu Shi Huang of the Chu dynasty. So Emperor Huang's predecessors were really bad, apparently, because everyone hated Emperor Huang. They wanted him dead. They wanted him out. They were rioting, rebelling, kind of like you see in all of 2020 has been. So Emperor Huang decides that the best course of action to this is not to send the military in like his predecessors have been doing. His father actually sent the military in to slaughter people that rebelled because you need to keep them in line. He decided to take the other route, and he went into these villages that had extreme discontent. They absolutely hated him. They wanted him dead, and personally visited them, showing that he personally cared for them. And this really did help his image. People loved it. It would be kind of like if the president took a personal journey down to your town and showed that he cared about you guys personally. It'd be really cool. So the people love this. He visited their villages. He made them awesome. I mean, of course, he brought his hundreds of royal guards with him to make sure nothing happened, but it still was really cool. So he goes down eastern China, starting from his capital in Luoyang, all the way to the southern tip of eastern China, which is the Nanman people. They're the last ones he visits, and they're kind of probably what I'd say Texas. They don't really care about you. You don't mess with them. They don't mess with you, kind of thing. And so he gets there. They're kind of like, we don't care, and then he leaves. Kind of simple. As soon as he leaves Nanman, assassins strike him. His royal guard fights him off, though, and upon inspection of the bodies, they find out the tint of their skin is light. And what this means is that it was not the Nanman people. They have a very dark skin. It was the nomadics of the north who live in the mountainous regions. It's colder up there, so their skin is lighter. Therefore, he decides to accelerate his return home. And instead of visiting the eastern villages that had discontent for him, he goes back up the western side, which is the way he came down, and he goes straight back to Luoyang. On the way there, he gets people attempt to assassinate him twice again. It's the nomadics again. One's about halfway to Luoyang, and one is right outside Luoyang. When he gets back to Luoyang, he orders his military to release hundreds of thousands of convicts from prison and to begin the construction of a wall, a great wall. What this will do is, if you see here, I've got these little houses, Monopoly houses, right? And, they have little cars in front of them. That's a wall and a village. You have villages over here that have none in front of them. This is kind of how it was. It wasn't as linear as this, but this is the best I can do on here. So what this wall did is it took these villages here and kind of expanded the wall. So now this village had no wall in front of it. Now it does, because it's going to take the entire northern border and expand these walls. And how it does it is, if you look at the Great Wall, it's not a linear wall. It kind of twists and turns. It's because villages weren't laid out in a linear pattern. They were laid out kind of erratically. So what this does is it connects all of these walls that some villages had in front of them to defend themselves from attack, and connects it so now villages that didn't have walls now have walls. The villages that did have walls, their walls are expanded and bigger now. During this process, about 400,000 military and convicts are going to die just because of the intent of the work. But the Great Wall in 2007 was named one of the 7 wonders of the world because of the work that these guys did. So if you ever like to go visit wonders or travel, you can go visit this one. It is really cool. It stands today because of the genius and ingenuity of these military and convicts and the scientists or whatever they had back then too. The Ming Dynasty decided that this wall was great for defense. So the Ming emperor at the time decided that he wanted to expand the wall, and it was falling apart. So they revamped it. They made it better so that it wasn't falling apart anymore. It actually protected them, and that's part of the reason that it still stands today. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in class. I'm really good at Chinese history. I love it. I've been actually looking at Chinese history for about 10 years now. It's my specialty. Thank you all for listening. Have a great day.